Dzień dobry, witam wszystkich serdecznie. Kolejne rozmowy branżowe. Dzisiaj historyczne spotkanie organizowane przez Chiliz Polska i Chiliz Alliance. Dzisiaj naszym gościem jest Joe Grech z projektu Chiliz, a więc Community Manager. Cześć Joe, hey Joe, witamy serdecznie.
Sorry, yes, I don't have the possibility to unmute myself. Hello guys, hello everyone from the Chiliz Poland community. Very nice to see you all and good to be here. And thank you guys for inviting me on.
Spotkanie poprowadzi dobrze znany nam Robert z Chiliz Alliance. Cześć Robert, również witam serdecznie.
Witam.
Kilka ogłoszeń parafialnych na początek. Te wszystkie pytania, które wysłaliście, także mamy tą listę. Robert zadaje po angielsku, także całe AMA będzie po angielsku. Później oczywiście dla osób, które nie rozumieją, zrobimy polskie tłumaczenie i tak jak obiecaliśmy, będzie nagroda od Chiliz, a więc mamy tutaj $1000 w kryptowalucie Chiliz do rozdania dla najbardziej aktywnych i dla tych, którzy tutaj przysłali te pytania. Także, żeby już nie przedłużać, oddaję wam panowie głos i zaczynamy.
Hello, Joe. We will start now. If you can tell us few sentences or few words about yourself, what you're doing in Chiliz, and what is your position, and why we talk today with you or no one else.
So, my name is Joe Grech. I'm 25 years old from the United Kingdom, from London. And I am the crypto marketing manager at Chiliz. I am responsible for leading the team who basically execute all the marketing and all the community stuff that you see surrounding the Chiliz token and the Chiliz communities.
Okay, thank you. How we said before, we will be talking English and then we will translate that and put the subtitles on the bottom. And we can start from the question what we have from our community, and we will start obviously from question about the Poland and Polish community, and if you can tell us is how many people from Poland is in Chiliz or Socios, you can share that with us.
Unfortunately, when it comes to specific data, regional data, we have to be careful with the data that we give out. So unfortunately, I cannot tell you how many. I wish I could, but unfortunately, I can't.
Any tips? What community is the second place, third place? How we doing?
Well, you were doing really well. You still are. But recently we had the Portuguese community, Portuguese speaking. Obviously, Brazil is a huge region for football and cryptocurrency. So what we've seen recently is a huge influx in people from Brazil coming to Socios.com and Chiliz.net, and also joining the Chiliz Portuguese community. They've grown recently from 700 to 2,500 members in 1 week. And all day, every day, just crazy amounts of talking. But you guys are doing a great job. So I'm not saying you guys aren't doing a good job. I'm just saying right now, I'd say it's between the Turkish community and the Brazilian community.
Okay, we will do better. And next question was, are you happy with the Polish community? But you already answered some, but you can tell more good things about that.
Yeah, I think the Polish community is great. Obviously, I understand that Polish are very passionate about football and sports. So it's obviously makes a lot of sense for us to have a good relationship with Polish cryptocurrency community and sports community. Obviously, we just recently announced Legia Warsaw. I'm sure you guys were very happy with that news, and that's just a sign of showing you guys we do listen. Even though you may ask us questions and we have to ignore you, there is a reason why we can't tell you everything.
Okay. And yeah, the next question and few questions will be about the Legia Warsaw. And if you can tell us how the negotiation looks like, of course, if you can tell us, and that was difficult and how long that is take, because sometimes people not understand is the first place you need to agree with team and you need sometimes to deal with. Okay.
Yeah, so It really varies. I can't comment on individual clubs and their negotiation processes, but what I can tell you is that it really depends on the club, and sometimes we have to spend a very long time in negotiation phases with our partners. You know, it can be 1 year, 2 years, it could be a very long time because of, first of all, at least in the beginning, we didn't really have a product, we didn't really have users, and we were going to clubs and telling them, this is going to be the next big thing in sports and cryptocurrency and blockchain. And it was very hard to convince people that what we are saying is true. Now it's a lot easier. So with some smaller clubs, the negotiation time is much smaller than before. Obviously, with the bigger clubs, you know, the big names, those negotiation times will still be quite some time.
Okay. Now I have just random question. If any teams start contact you about the Socio, you like a Chiliz, about, oh, we won't work with you, can we be part of that project?
Yes, people, clubs have started to come to us. Obviously, a lot of smaller clubs who you know, can move faster, who are more innovative because they don't have such a strict corporate structure, or you know, they have a smaller fan base, so you know, they can move a lot faster. But I mean, at the end of the day, still with the big clubs, it's kind of, you know, us going to them, or someone referring us to them, or vice versa. So yeah.
Okay, is the next question, it's probably from Maciek, is why Legia?
I honestly, I don't know. I can't answer that question. I don't know.
I can answer because I'm Legia fan, but we will be go to
Let me
the
get,
next
it's
one.
the best team in Poland.
Yes, obviously. Okay, that came from our people. I need to read this. When is Legia FTO?
I would recommend that when it comes to any kind of announcement date, whether it be an FTO or, you know, listing or anything like that, just wait for the official announcement. I know I've said that so many times. I know it's very exciting. It's an exciting time to be a Chiliz holder. It's exciting to be in our community right now. And I know everyone is very excited, but we do obviously have our plans and our schedule and how we do things. We've become a big process. So just wait for the official announcement.
Okay, we will be go from now from the Polish. I will say I would like to see more teams from Poland.
Me too. Me too.
Okay, thank you. And then we go to America and American market. Can you tell us something about the office people over there? Is there already some people working? Are you talking with some clubs, or that is a top secret and way?
Well, I can tell you pretty much exactly what was written on the news. You know, we're investing 50 million in an expansion, $50 million that is, in an expansion to the US market, which covers, you know, NFL, NHL, NBA, all of that, you know, all of the top sports in America. Following that, we're also opening an office in New York. And I don't think anyone has been hired yet, but I know we are looking at people who would be a perfect fit for us to work with us on our expansion into the US market.
Okay, it's really good because it's a big step.
Yes, and I can tell you, yes, we're already, and we have been talking to, you know, sports organizations out in America before we even announced the expansion.
Okay. Okay, now we will be back to Europe because every football fan wants the best league in the world in Chiliz and Socios. What about the Premier League or German League? Is that real, or is some legal issue? Because we talk about the Bundesliga on Polish community lots of times, but we think is a first you need to talk with like a Bundesliga first and then to the clubs, or
I do know that at least when we were discussing with the German teams, that there were some roadblocks in terms of regulation and legal issues. But I cannot say anything more than that. And that was probably, some time ago. I'm not sure if it's changed. Yeah. But yes, there were initially some issues there. And what was the other part of the question? Sorry. Oh, about the Premier League.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I mean obviously the Premier League. It's a great league for football. I'm a West Ham fan. Top five team in the league. So yes, obviously we do want to onboard Premier League clubs for sure. It is unfortunate what happened with West Ham. The reason why that ended was purely because West Ham fans were the club was not managing their relationship with the fans very well, and also it just kind of wasn't. We weren't going to reach the deadlines that we initially agreed to, and it was a mutual agreement. It wasn't like we got rid of them or they got rid of us. It was like we both just said let's just leave it where it is now. I think that's for the best.
Bless you. The next question is about the MMA, because it's a Polish people love football, but they love fights as well.
Okay, you like to fight, huh?
And there was the question about the UFC tokens, and if there will be later on the tokens for UFC and PFL.
Yes. So the PFL fan token is up and coming. I think the fan token offering is coming soon. As for UFC, we haven't really kind of announced our plans with them. We never really said a fan token, but I'm not saying it's not possible. So all I need to say again is wait until we have some further information about how we will be working with the UFC. Obviously, we kind of did some small promotions with them with our SSU token, which basically was like a predict and win. People who predicted who would win the main cards of the fight on the certain night would get the chance to win a what they called these passports, the UFC passports, which would allow them to travel to the fight island or whatever it was called. So yes, we have done some kind of teasers with UFC. But also, we kind of wanted to position ourselves better. Now that we have PFL and we have Socios fighting, we can position ourselves and structure something that makes more sense to both parties.
Okay, because we have a question as well about the using the UFC, if that will happen, and the PFL tokens. Do you choose the who fighting with him on the next show or something like that? But obviously you already answered that question.
Yeah, I mean for PFL, I know I can get you excited by telling you that we have something very, very cool planned for PFL, but I can't tell you what. So that's all. At least I think it's cool, and a lot of the team think it's cool. So yeah, there are some cool things planned with PFL, and I can't comment on the specifics of that.
Okay. My next question, because it's few question about this, about the players token.
Yeah, we have also discussed this in the past, but it does, there become some issues with having a player token. First of all, we make multi-year deals with intellectual property that's been around for not just 10 years but 50, 100 years. These big clubs. When you're partnering with a player, there's no guarantee that he's going to keep being engaged with his fan token and engaging his fan token holders. When we work with the clubs, now they're starting to understand that yes, we are the issuer. We issue it on their behalf, but it is the club's token. It's theirs, not ours. We just issue. We work with them. We're a service provider. We provide the service for the club. So going back to the initial part. Wait, hang on. What was the first part of the question again?
About the
About players, yes.
token.
They can retire. You know, what happens to the fan token when they retire? If they lose motivation, or if, you know, something happens that damages their reputation that can harm our reputation. There's lots of kind of barriers to this. I'm not saying that another cryptocurrency project won't come up and do something that works. I'm just saying that for us, we want to work with the established intellectual property that has been, you know, around for a long time, with trusted brands and so forth.
Okay, thank you. To be honest, I not expect the answer, but it's really going to the point. And it's a question about the more, you said something before about the Socios fight, and the people
Yes.
ask about the Socios e-gaming, because they know we already have a few a gaming team like OG,
Yes.
Navy, Alliance,
Yep.
and if you, of course, if you can tell us if you will try the work or cooperate with ESL or company like that, and doing tournaments.
I think it is a possibility, but this is something that wouldn't be anywhere soon. You know, we would need to have a lot more esports teams on board, so we could, you know, do cool activations, whether it be with ESL or DreamHack. I mean, no, I'm sorry, they've merged now, so it doesn't really matter. But ESL or some other, you know, Blast Premier, there is obviously potential for us to work with tournament organizers. And we have contacts, and we have had discussions previously with these organizations. And sorry, we actually back in 2018 we were invited by ESL to ESL One Cologne. So we actually went as a whole company, so the whole company could learn a bit about esports a little bit more. Obviously, I'm an esports guy, so I could fully understand the whole industry and the fans and the organizations involved. So yeah, I mean, I would personally love it, but right now it makes way more sense to focus on what is causing us the hyper growth of Socios, and that's onboarding more sports teams, you know, big football teams, you know, fighting and that kind of stuff. Obviously, we have a dedicated partnership manager for esports, and I can tell you we are in talks with lots of esports organizations, you know, teams, and maybe there'll be a new one coming up. Maybe they won't, maybe they will. I know, but I'm not saying.
Maybe another team from Poland. Okay, fan token on other exchanges.
Yes. What about them?
Yes, they will be go or not, and they will be only on Binance and that. I don't remember that Turkish.
So initially, what was happening was we kind of really had to prove ourselves of why fan tokens are interesting. You know, it's a new concept in crypto for people to try and understand. We had to try and prove why they would be interesting for exchanges to list them. Now I'd say the landscape is very different, and people are coming to us, you know, very frequently asking to list certain fan tokens on exchanges. Will we see all fan tokens on a third-party exchange? It's a possibility for sure. It's part of, you know, I believe, I don't want to misspeak here. A lot of our commercial deals with the clubs have a list of pre-approved exchanges, which means that we don't actually have to go and communicate. We do tell the club, obviously, but we don't have to seek permission because of there are pre-approved exchanges. And obviously, Binance being one of those, Upbit in Korea, Paribu in Turkey. But yes, we will be continuing as best we can to increase liquidity on fan tokens and improve accessibility. Yeah. And obviously, I can't tell you who's listing on Binance, when they're listing on Binance, what is being listed on
question. And I love that question. Will Barcelona go on Binance, and when? If you can tell us, just like hot tip.
No, I cannot discuss.
I'm to be honest, I'm really surprised that that question came just once.
Yes, me too. If it was the Turkish community, it would be the whole page.
But not about the Barcelona, but about the Galatasaray probably.
Both.
Okay. Is there any new markets for Chiliz? The Chiliz will be listed?
Well, we just announced the listing on Changerly, Bitcoin.com, HitBTC, and also OKX very recently. It's possible. I can tell you we will probably next week be launching a sushi swap pool and start to think about a incentivized farm for people to farm their Chiliz tokens and provide liquidity. So we are probably going to be doing that next week. Obviously, you saw Uniswap, which was a huge success, which really kind of pushed us forward a lot. Most people don't really understand why. Well, being a decentralized automated market maker, it means that there's no geolocation blocking, which means anyone can use it and gain access to the Chiliz token without passing any KYC verification. So we want obviously to make the Chiliz token accessible from all over the world. We're working with exchanges in so many different regions in different countries. So yes, provide increasing liquidity by adding new markets, of course.
Okay. Another question. How many new partnership in March and April?
5,000.
Oh,
I'm joking.
easy over.
Can't answer. Tomato.
Tomato. Okay. Okay. Now we go into NFTs. Another hot topic.
Yes.
Okay. When we move to the NFT, what will be condition for receiving them? And
okay, sorry.
And that will be okay. That's it.
All right. So, NFTs, they're another topic that I'm very limited on what I can say. Obviously, US and NFTs are probably, I have to be very careful with what I'm saying. In terms of NFTs, I am not sure if I can say how they're going to be earned. At least if you saw what the clubs have been tweeting, like Galatasaray, PSG today, and Juventus. There will be fan token involvement in the NFT, so some form of staking. As for specifics, I don't even know what I can say. But it's gonna be exciting. It's with the current NFT kind of landscape, it's just like someone uploads a picture and mints an NFT and declares how many of those NFTs are going to exist. It's like at the end of the day, what's the utility? Like, what does it really matter about this NFT? Who's going to buy it? Is there enough liquidity on the market to actually for you to hold it for like a year and for you to be able to sell it at the same price or higher? Obviously, I'm not speculating on our NFTs. I'm just saying my outlook on the whole NFT market. All I can say is wait and see. It's exciting. And I've said this a few times before that we don't usually jump on trends. So what do I mean by that? Like a lot of crypto companies, they obviously have a core product, but they are very loose. When a new trend pops up, they go ahead and they jump on it and they start to make use of that trend, exploit the trend as much as possible to gain liquidity on their network or volume or users, however you want to look at it. Whereas with us, we have very rarely jumped on trends, as we believe it makes a lot more sense to build something that has a long lifespan. A lot of these projects and NFTs and things that are coming out today probably aren't going to be popular in 2 years' time or 5 years' time. Everything that we do is for the long term. We make multi-year partnerships with these clubs for a reason, because we need to have a user proposition of value which is going to be long term. Otherwise, what's the point in owning a fan token if you own that fan token for 1 year and nothing comes of it. So we believe, obviously Alex talks about building and we build. I know it gets a bit boring to hear all the time, but it is kind of the truth, you know. We just keep developing our ideas and expanding on our ideas, and we try not to listen too much to what's going on in the overall crypto space.
Okay, because another question is about the NFT. I will be jump them.
Yeah, let's scrap that. I think I just gave a pretty good answer.
I will be jump them, but is the next question. Are you thinking about any benefits for people who have like over 1,000 on fan token?
Yes. So we actually have kind of done a soft rollout of our VIP program. I don't want to talk much about it because it is what it says it is. It is a VIP program. It's a soft rollout, which means only a very small amount of users were invited. And I don't want to talk about it because I know I'm going to get messaged by at least 10 people in here. I followed Socios from the beginning. Why am I not a VIP? I have 10,000 of this and 5,000 of that. Where's my VIP? So I'm not going to talk too much about the VIP program, but yes, we have recently just started to roll out our VIP program, which will have certain conditions in which makes you a Socios VIP. It's very small right now. We will obviously scale it up as we continue to grow. And also I will probably end up having some level of input as, you know, from what the company sees of users in the Socios app doesn't see what I see on Telegram and Twitter. So maybe sometimes I have a good idea of who can be a VIP or who should have been a VIP. And I'll just leave that there.
Okay. Is there anything you know about the Socios launch in the stadium? Is a VIP launch?
Oh yes, VIP lounge. Yes, we have VIP lounges or boxes, whatever you want to call them, at a few different stadiums. I think Juventus, Atletico Madrid. Don't know if we have one. Do we have one at Barcelona? Anyway, we got a few now. Also, we have VIP seats for almost every match. Obviously, currently we're in COVID time, which has kind of been good because of a lot of clubs were needing money and weren't really sure how to keep their fan base engaged whilst COVID is going on because they can't go to the stadium. Well, it kind of made clubs realize that really 99% of fans don't live in the actual city of where the stadium is. So now they're starting to really consider their global fan engagement strategies, and we are slowly becoming more of a name. You know, on the business side of the sports scene, people are starting to know about us. I'd say a good level. I'd be surprised if, you know, almost every top Premier League team hadn't heard of us. Probably because we've spoken to a lot of them. But yeah, I think that's about it.
Is there another question about the VIP box? If that will be after the COVID time, and you obviously will be invite some people over there.
Yes,
is that
yes.
randomly or for the biggest holders, or will be like quiz or any, I don't know.
It would be a combination of all of those, whether it's just a Twitter giveaway or a fan token holder who owns X amount, or someone who has taken part in a game or activity within the app and completed it and won, or been picked a random through a raffle and won. Yes, those people will probably get invited to our lounges at the stadiums, which is very exciting. I think that's almost right. This is the next level of the explosion of Socios because of today in marketing, still the best way to spread an application or an idea, it's through word of mouth, and it will always be word of mouth will always be the fastest. Let's say, you know, we have how many 20 plus partners. Imagine us sending, you know, how many fans a week we would be able to send to these matches. How many of them fans are going to tell their friends about their experience? That's the next wave. That's going to be something to really look out for, and that's something that I'm very excited about, is getting fans back in the stadiums and getting fans and fan token holders into our VIP booths.
Yeah, that will be crazy. Okay, another question. Are we can expect the Chiliz or Socios ads on Super Bowl next year?
Next year, well, I mean, considering we
Okay,
only
5 years.
uh,
Not next year, 5 years.
I mean, in 5 years, it's possible. If you see, we just announced the expansion. Give us a little bit of time to expand into the US, and then we'll talk about Super Bowl.
Okay, okay. When the Chinese team in Socios?
I can't answer. / don't know / maybe
Okay.
don't know.
Are you thinking about the organize the Socios Cup? Is a tournament based on the summer tour on biggest clubs in the USA, like big clubs from Europe going and playing like league or cup in the America.
In terms, I don't know why would they go to America? That's a question. I mean, we have thought about a Socios Cup. I mean, we could pretty much do that in Europe. There's no, and most of our partners are based in Europe, so I don't know why it would make any sense to host that in the USA. But yes, we have talked about a Socios Cup / kind of Socios tournament, but I can't really say anything more than that, to be honest.
Okay, thank you. Another one. When will be the Socios debit card?
It's gonna probably take some time. It's gonna require a lot of work. First of all, from a logistic point of view, and it could even be on hold right now. I will have to find out. I can't remember.
Okay, are you know anything about the money over there? They will be only euro and dollar, or that will be like Polish zloty and Turkish lira, or
I think initially it would be one currency, so probably euro. But I'm still not sure, so I don't want to answer.
okay. SSU token. Any usefulness?
Yes. It has we have teased obviously a lot and spoke about SSU. SSU is an interesting token because of when you look at our typical fan tokens, their value is derived in the form of dollar or Chiliz. Whereas with SSU, the value is given by you as the user in terms of how much utility you feel it gives you is how much you value it. And it's not going to be tradable. So, is it worth getting out of bed every day and token hunting? I don't know. Maybe it will be. Maybe it won't be. But there will be features coming soonish, I believe, at least in the next quarter, I hope, which make use of SSU more and hopefully provides the users with the utility that they desire. But obviously do note, SSU tokens, they will never be tradable.
Okay. The next one is a locker room. Are you planning the new one? What you think about the existing one?
I was hoping I could avoid talking about locker rooms since I do it basically all day these days.
We are too, don't worry.
Listen, locker rooms were a huge success. However you want to look at it as a user, you, as the user, wanted to help us reach negotiations with clubs. You didn't expect Chiliz to increase by 5, 10x, whatever it did. I didn't expect, we didn't expect, no one expected. It just happened, okay? So there is, yes, a lot of people who are unhappy right now because they themselves didn't understand what they were buying into, and now they are angry. Another side of the thing is, I'm not too sure if there is a huge concern. If we talk about like the psychology of people, it's like the people who bought, large amounts, a lot of them aren't going to want to sell them below the amount they bought for. And most of the big people who buy the big amounts care more about Chiliz than dollar. So it's up in the air. I think that they were a huge success, the locker rooms. and I'm very happy for them. Will we make changes to them in the future? It's possible. Now we are in a very lucky position where we've seen a successful locker room, AC Milan, which instantly got listed on Binance like 1 week after or something, which was a great success. So it kind of set a standard. It's kind of frustrating for us, although we do understand that there are concerns. It is frustrating for us to go to work and see the same messages all day, every day in my private messages when I'm not working, when I'm home, when on the weekend. It does get tiring, yes. In terms of what the plans are for the locker rooms in the future, you'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we have one that recently filled, which was Lock One, which is our first kind of adventure into Formula One, which is exciting. Obviously, Formula One it's huge and very exciting. So yeah, that's all I want to talk about locker rooms. No more locker room questions.
Okay. We go into like two last one, and then we will go for a question from the chat. Any plans for Socios shop, when we can buy the T-shirt or the backpack or sweatshirt, hoodies with Socios logo, or we are Socios, or
Maybe.
okay. And is the last one from that what the people sent to us is are the Alex and Dana White is a twins?
Well, I don't know if they're twins, but let's just say I have never seen Alex Dreyfus in the same room as Dana White. Maybe
Okay.
that's just a coincidence.
Okay. Now we will believe that the voice for Maciek, if there any question to ask.
Okej, z ważniejszych pytań to czy dzisiaj jest jakiś projekt, który Chiliz uważa za swoją konkurencję?
If it's right now any project what you think is your competitor?
I will say no. I would say that there are some people building sports blockchain kind of products, platforms. Some of them look very similar to ours, but at what stage should they be considered as a competitor? You know, the ones that I'm looking at, first of all, some of them haven't even listed their token, haven't even minted their token. You know, all of these are just concepts. To me, that's not a competitor. A competitor is someone who is, you know, challenging us in the top 100. You know, if we look at typical cryptocurrencies, let's look at Chainlink, for example. Chainlink has lots of competitors, banned, API free, and more Oracle solutions are growing. It's for sure we will eventually have a competitor. But in my opinion, competitors are not to be taken seriously until, you know, they actually have a product, they actually have a token, and they actually have users.
And teams.
And teams, yes.
Okay.
Tutaj wiele osób zauważyło, że jesteśmy w czasach pandemii, a Chiliz i tak radzi sobie dobrze. To co będzie dopiero, jak ludzie wrócą na stadiony, jak będzie można pracować w tych dobrych warunkach już dla sportu?
Okay, that maybe it's not the question, but many people mention we on COVID times and Chile
Yes.
doing really, really well. And that's what happened when the fans come back on the stadium. And that is just from the chat.
Yes, I mean, I did mention, you know, not that long ago, maybe like 10 minutes ago, that's something that I'm very excited for. It's the next wave of the huge amount of users coming into our ecosystem, because if we're going to be able to give fans the experiences which we advertise. You know, I know we've advertised for so long these amazing VIP experiences, and we haven't been able to deliver them. Sure, we've done our best to try to give some experiences, whether it's like having their face on the LED screens going around the stadium, or whether it's having a cardboard cutout of them in the stands. I know it doesn't sound appealing to everyone, but at the end of the day, being a fan, it's, you know, fandom, it's crazy. You know, some people, they just love to see their face on an LED. That's great. But obviously we would prefer to be sending them there to the stadium to meet with players, to be like given tours of the stadium and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Czy jest szansa na sporty indywidualne, takie jak skoki narciarskie? Sky jumping.
Is
in
there any
Socio.
chance for the individual sport in the Socios? Is it like sky jumping? Because is the Polish people crazy about that sport as well?
Okay. It sounds very, very unlikely.
Okay.
Tutaj jeszcze, Robert, umknęło jedno bardzo ważne pytanie a propos aplikacji Socios.
Tak.
Czy będzie zabezpieczona z seedami, tak? Czy będzie to bezpieczny portfel?
Yeah, one more question. I don't know why I skipped that. Just a second.
Yes, but it's very important for us.
I'm just gonna get some water.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated.
Rozgadał się ten nasz Joey?
Oh yeah, I find this. I want to ask if the new application will have the function of the wallet for which we will have the seats, or will be a separate wallet for NFTs.
Yeah, and private keys.
The way that we see it, it's the Socios.com is a custodial wallet and a fan engagement platform. I understand that currently there is nowhere else that you can really store your fan tokens unless they're listed on a third-party exchange that isn't, ours. Obviously, you can, store them on an exchange, but that's not recommended. Another thing to think about is to consider that the Chiliz chain, it's a permissioned proof of authority chain, which means that currently we have a large control over the network. Obviously, we believe, like Binance believe, that decentralization is more of a spectrum, and you should have certain goals to reach to give away more control. There's many reasons why we haven't really wanted to give away a lot of control for the time being, because of when you're working with these big brands and this big intellectual property. In the crypto space, it's very easy to create scams, fake smart contracts that will steal people's tokens. The last thing that we would want is for a passionate Juventus fan to lose hundreds of dollars in a scam, which was, not affiliated with us. Go to the club and explain the situation. That is a very bad possibility, which is why we currently do not allow access unless we do plan to work with people in the industry who we believe are trustworthy to run Chiliz nodes. For example, Binance is running a Chiliz node so that the fan tokens can be transferred on and off. Every exchange that has fan tokens is running a Chiliz chain node. Obviously, sports teams as well, so Juventus, PSG, etc. They are all running nodes, not necessarily understanding it. It may be the case that, yes, we are running the nodes on their behalf initially until they have the proper understanding and knowledge to progress further.
Okay.
Okej, jest jeszcze pytanie dość ważne o współpracę z Legią, ale myślę, że warto o tym powiedzieć. Czy tutaj Chiliz uczy Legię na przykład w jaki sposób robić te ankiety, jak korzystać tutaj, powiedzmy, jak łączyć się z fanami, czy że tak powiem, Legia sama tutaj ma wyłączność? Czy jest ta współpraca?
Okay, we have question about the cooperate with Legia. If you teach them how to do the quiz and how you teach and learn fans how to do the Socios app and what is Chiliz for and what is Socios for, or they have had some materials and they need to learn, or you give some support. And
are you talking in regards to us and our communication with the club or the fans?
Yeah. Okay. Clubs,
yes.
Well, obviously, like I did say before, it does appear to be the case that a lot of clubs do need some level of education, but we do negotiate these deals for a long time. We have a good onboarding process. We have partnership activation managers who are, basically account managers who also work to actually activate the fan token through marketing and that kind of stuff. Yes, we have educational resources. It's lots of Zoom calls and discussions like this. That's basically been the case with all of our partners. Lots of Zoom calls, lots of getting them to understand. Yes, in the beginning, maybe some didn't fully understand certain things, but we are now getting to the popularity level where the community and the third parties can explain what we do very, very well, and that's great because it makes our job a lot easier. So everyone is starting to understand what we do, which means that the process speeds up a little bit. But I can't really talk individually about Legia. I'm not part of the onboarding process. I am the crypto guy. I'm not the sports guy.
Okay, thank you. Maciek?
Ostatnie pytanie, myślę, że takie podsumowujące od całej naszej społeczności. Dla nas jako Polaków, na pewno przynajmniej dla większości, Chiliz jest projektem długoterminowym. No i jest takie pytanie, gdzie Joey widzi tutaj Chiliz za 10 lat?
Okay, Chiliz. Joey, is the last question from our community. Okay. Because for Polish people, for most of us, Chiliz is a long-term project. We know we are on beginning. We fully understand that. You have our support and we will be working hard. When you see Chiliz in 10 years and Socios?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, am I going to be here in 10 years? I mean, 10 years, it's a ridiculous time frame, I'm afraid. 5 years. Well, obviously, I'd like to see, me personally, I can't speak on the behalf of the company here, but me personally, in 5 years for this company, I would like to see, almost all of the top teams in the whole world, from all regions, on board the app, to have many features which provide value to users. An application which is actually fun to use. I know that we receive a lot of feedback and the application isn't necessarily that fun. Well, it's going to take some time and some development to develop fun features which people like, such as gamification, which we're very close to releasing, and much more features like that. Yeah, I would like to see us in a diverse portfolio of sports, cricket, rugby, Formula One, obviously, maybe golf. I don't know. I'm not a massive sports guy, so it's hard for me to kind of project where I see the company in terms of partnerships and growth there. And also, I can't really talk about it from the crypto point of view, because the only thing I could say from a crypto point of view would be price prediction, market cap, or place on coin market cap. And I can't make those kinds of predictions. So I'm afraid that's going to be the answer there.
Okej. Myślę, że wyczerpaliśmy wszystkie ważniejsze pytania, także możemy zbliżać się do końca. Chciałem wszystkim podziękować za obecność na tym spotkaniu. Myślę, że będziemy robić takie spotkania częściej i częściej będziemy Joe męczyć tutaj. Dziękuję, Robert. Thank you, Joe, for the meeting.
Yes, dziękuję, guys. Thank you very much. It's been very fun, and obviously we understand that Poland, it's a good region for us. And we are very fond of the Polish community. So yeah, thank you guys for being here, and we really appreciate it, and stick with us.